For a long time, the only A2 class bike from BMW was the G310 GS, but now they're getting serious. The F450 GS is coming, featuring a newly developed parallel twin engine, loads of high-end features, and a unique piece of technology. Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in. It's been 1 year since I was at the EICMA show, where I first got to see, touch, and even start up the fresh prototype of this 450 GS. And already back then, it was clear, the way that engine sounded, something very special must have been engineered here. Nothing like it had existed from BMW before, maybe not even anywhere else. After a year of waiting, the production model has now officially been presented today, once again at EICMA. So here are all the specs and everything we know about it. The G310 GS has been around in the A2 segment for quite some time, but now BMW really wants to take this class seriously and make full use of it. That's why the newly designed 420 cubic centimeter parallel twin produces 48 horsepower at 8,750 revolutions per minute and 43 Newton meters of torque at 6,750 revolutions per minute. I already mentioned the crankshaft offset. It's unique at 135 degrees. So why did BMW do this? They said they found a new sweet spot that, according to them, first of all, gives the bike a distinctive sound character, and secondly, helps improve smoothness and refinement. The clear goal for this motorcycle is to offer enough accessibility and ease of use on asphalt for beginners, while also delivering enough performance for small adventures on loose terrain or twisty roads, agile and playful handling included. The engine itself is a very modern unit. Compression ratio 13:1, double overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, and rocker arms, truly state-of-the-art. Then we get to the clutch. The F450 GS comes with a standard 6-speed gearbox and a classic clutch. But there's also something completely new for BMW, the Easy Ride clutch. So what is it? On 3 of the 4 F450 GS variants, it's available as an option, and on the 4th, it's standard. BMW describes it as an evolution of the centrifugal clutch system known from scooters. This automatic centrifugal clutch differs from other emerging automatic systems because those often use electric motors or actuators to shift gears or operate the clutch, whereas this system works purely mechanically. In the case of the BMW, this Easy Ride clutch actually uses a centrifugal unit. That unit engages or disengages the connection between the engine and the rear wheel, depending on engine speed, just like a scooter clutch does. The difference between a standard centrifugal clutch and BMW's Easy Ride clutch lies mainly in 2 points. First, the clutch is deactivated during overrun, that is, while coasting, all the way down to idle speed. The purpose of that is to let the rider use the engine braking for longer and to keep the overall riding behavior much closer to what you'd expect from a traditional clutch and gearbox on a regular motorcycle. Second, the manual clutch lever is still there and can be used at any time. So you're not forced to rely on the Easy Ride clutch. You can always take control manually. However, if the bike is equipped with both the Easy Ride clutch and the Shift Assistant Pro, BMW's quick shifter, you'll hardly ever need to use the clutch at all. Thanks to the centrifugal clutch, you can simply select a gear, open the throttle, and the bike starts moving. The clutch automatically handles the engagement. When you stop, it disengages smoothly, and for shifting, the quick shifter takes over. This is an entirely new piece of technology introduced for the very first time with the F450 GS. It'll be really interesting to see how it feels in real-world riding. Personally, I always think that as long as something is optional and doesn't limit the rider's freedom, and since this system still allows full manual control, even off-road or when maneuvering, it's a cool addition, a nice expansion to what's available in today's motorcycle market. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As for the rest of the F450 GS, it features a newly developed tubular steel frame with the engine as a stressed member of the chassis. According to BMW, the whole setup is designed for agility and ease of handling. The steering head angle is 28.1 degrees with a trail of 115 millimeters. The suspension comes from KYB, a 43 millimeter upside down fork at the front with 180 millimeters of travel, and a rear shock also offering 180 millimeters of travel. In the standard version, rebound damping and preload are adjustable. There's also a higher end version, the sport suspension, which adds compression damping adjustment as well. Speaking of travel, 180 millimeters isn't a huge number compared to other A2 adventure bikes. For example, the Royal Enfield Himalayan offers 200 millimeters, and most competitors are around that same range or slightly below. So BMW clearly aims a bit more toward on-road performance here. That impression is reinforced by the wheel setup. A 100 front tire on a 19-inch wheel and a 138 zero tire on a 17-inch rear wheel. That means, as you'd expect from a GS, it comes with a 19-inch front wheel, just like all the other GS models. In the standard version, it's equipped with cast wheels, but there's also the option to upgrade to cross-spoked wheels. So yes, the potential for light off-road adventures is there, even if it's still running a 19-inch front wheel. Personally, I'm not sure whether that's a good or not so good choice. I think I would have preferred a 21-inch front wheel, but of course a 19-inch wheel makes the bike a bit more agile and probably fits better with BMW's overall goal for the F450 GS. And realistically, you can still have plenty of fun off-road, especially considering how most A2 adventure bikes are actually used. Now, since we're already talking about potential off-road riders, let's take a look at the weight. According to BMW, the F450 GS has a ready-to-ride weight of 178 kilograms. That's quite respectable, a little above the KTM 390 Adventure R, which we measured at 176.5 kilograms fully fueled, but clearly lighter than bikes like the Himalayan or the CF Moto 450 MT. The latter, with its parallel twin engine, is probably the most direct competitor to this new GS, so it's going to be really interesting to see how it stacks up against the competition. The key specs sound promising already: a relatively high horsepower figure, low overall weight, and very advanced equipment. And I'm not just talking about the special centrifugal clutch. The rest of the motorcycle is also on a high technical level. For example, up front, we have a 4-piston fixed caliper paired with a 310 millimeter brake disc, something you don't usually see in this class. At the rear, there's a 2-piston caliper and a 240 millimeter disc. Then we get to the electronics, and this is where BMW really went all in for the A2 segment. Lean-sensitive systems are already something quite rare in this class. I'm talking about ABS Pro, cornering ABS, as well as lean-sensitive traction control, dynamic brake control, and engine drag torque control. There are also built-in riding modes as standard, rain, road, and enduro in the base and exclusive variants. On top of that, the Enduro Pro mode comes standard as well, allowing the rider to customize parameters individually. All of this is operated through a 6.5-inch TFT display using the familiar multi-controller from the larger GS models. So yes, this is a genuine GS with that typical abundance of electronic systems, just paired with a smaller engine. We also get smartphone connectivity, and you can even install the BMW Connected Ride Navigator on the F450 GS, something that's basically unheard of in the A2 segment, even if it comes as a paid option. Visually, the resemblance to the big 1300 GS is clear. From the front beacon seat to the tail section, even the LED headlight carries over the same X-shaped daytime running light signature. Now let's talk ergonomics, which play a huge role in handling and comfort. The standard seat height is 845 millimeters. I'd say that's about average for this class, maybe even a bit on the lower side. Optionally, you can lower it to 830 millimeters or raise raise it to 865 millimeters with the rally seat. The previously mentioned low weight is partly due to the 14-liter fuel tank, not huge, but with a fairly low fuel consumption, it should still provide a range of over 300 kilometers. The handlebar is made of tapered aluminum and can optionally be raised by 20 millimeters. And overall, the rider's contact points are clearly designed for both on-road and off-road use. For example, the foot pegs come with removable rubber inserts as standard, and both the brake and gear levers are height adjustable, so you can easily adapt them for seated road riding or standing off-road riding. And with that, let's move on to the equipment and the different versions. As mentioned, there are 4 variants of the F450 GS. First, there's the base version. That's the standard model, available in Cosmic Black. Then comes the exclusive variant, also in Cosmic Black. This one adds the Enduro Pro riding mode as standard, along with a quick shifter, off-road foot pegs, hand guards, and a skid plate. Next, we have the sport version, the red one, finished in racing red. It comes with the same features as the exclusive, meaning all the equipment I just mentioned, plus the upgraded sport suspension with adjustable compression damping. And last but not least, there's the trophy. This variant already exists for the larger GS models, and now it's part of the 450 GS lineup as well. The F450 GS trophy comes in racing blue metallic and basically includes everything. You could say it's fully loaded. It features the same package as the sport version, meaning the sport suspension, Enduro Pro mode, quick shifter and so on, but also adds BMW's Easy Ride clutch, the centrifugal clutch system we talked about earlier. On top of that, it gets an aluminum engine guard, a tinted rally windscreen, and a white frame that really gives it a premium look. And of course, if that's still not enough, there's plenty of optional accessories. An Akrapovic slip-on exhaust, for example. Hopefully that one will bring the sound closer to the amazing tone we heard from the prototype at last year's EICMA show. That's available as an optional accessory along with the already mentioned spoked wheels. You can also enhance comfort with different windshields, the optional handlebar risers, and of course a full range of luggage solutions. Top racks, tail bags, side cases, tank bags, the list goes on. Crash bars, engine guards, skid plates, all available as well. So you can really equip the F450 GS to your liking. Now let's get to the final point. Availability and pricing. Looking back at everything we've talked about so far, this is an A2 class adventure bike that comes with a ton of features, technology, and equipment. And in this segment, I think it's absolutely crucial to offer good value for money. Many riders in this category are beginners or younger people who don't have huge budgets. It wouldn't make much sense to release a 450cc motorcycle that only well-off or experienced riders could afford. At the same time, if we look at the competition, for example, Suzuki's DRZ, there have been models priced quite ambitiously, which drew criticism and skepticism about whether they could really succeed at that price point, especially when you can get something like the Royal Enfield Himalayan for around 6,500 euros. BMW, of course, is a premium brand, and this motorcycle is very well equipped, or at least highly configurable. So where does it land in terms of price? In Germany, surprisingly low in my opinion, 7,220 euros for the base model. That's actually a very fair price for what's already a solid package. I don't yet have the exact confirmed figures for the optional upgrades, but roughly it looks like this. About 300 euros more for the exclusive version with the Enduro Pro mode, around 450 euros extra for the sport version with the sport suspension, and roughly 170 euros on top for the trophy version, which includes the Easy Ride clutch and all the premium extras. That means the GS trophy version would cost around 7,999 euros, roughly 8,000 euros in Germany. And in Austria, because of the small engine displacement, the price isn't much higher, about 300 to 400 euros more. So even the trophy version in Austria ends up around or even slightly below the price of the KTM 390 Adventure R. Now, the KTM is still more focused on off-road performance, but it doesn't offer quite the same level of advanced or unique technology that BMW packs into this bike. All in all, the price isn't as high as I expected. So thank you BMW for that. It'll be exciting to see how it performs against its rivals and how the market reacts to this very interesting overall package. But that's just my opinion. What's yours? Is the BMW F 450 GS what you were hoping for? Is it a worthy entry into the GS family, or would you have changed a few things? Let's discuss it down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this short news update, give it a thumbs up and stay tuned. We are currently at EICMA and the fireworks of new releases are just beginning. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and we'll see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.